And the topic for today is child sexual abuse, or what is known as child molestation. Please subscribe to the video if you like the content or the topic that is of discussion today. So what then is child abuse or child sexual abuse? This is an abuse that is carried out by an adult who uses a child or children for his or her sexual stimulation, either through pressuring that child or an indecent exposure, that is, exposing his genitals, grooming, or sexual exploitation. These persons who carried out this coward attack is known as sexual predators. And this kind of abuse can be experienced in certain settings like schools, household, or homes. And you may want to know, well, how these predators get to their victims. Most victims are known by their predators. I'll say that again. Most victims are known by the person who are closely linked to them, or persons who are closely linked to them. And some of the examples of these persons can be a father, a brother, an uncle, a friend, a neighbor, someone whom the victim is closely linked to or grew up knowing or associate themselves around. If one were to look at the prevalence of child sexual abuse, it is estimated that 19.7 of sexual abuse carried out on children are done by males, and 7.9 by females. As I said before, most of these victims are known by their abusers. It is said also within the prevalence of sexual abuse on children that 30% of these cases are carried out by family members, to include uncle, brother, or father. I can assure you that if one were to dig deeper, if one were allowed to dig deeper into child sexual abuse, these figures would be very much higher. And this is because that child sexual abuse is known by society, where they have it under an umbrella, it's covered up, or not being exposed wide enough for people to understand how prevalent this abuse is. And the term that they would use is something like criminal offenses, where an adult is engaged in sexual activities or child sexual abuse. However, child sexual abuse is is an awful topic to discuss, whether it be personal or private, or whether it's been done within a social environment. As I said, the victims of these abuse are women, men, girls, and boys. Bear that in mind. When a person, a child, is a victim of sexual abuse, it can result in that child becoming pregnant. And in worst case scenario, if that child is under the age of 18, it's likely that that child may have to be aborted, or if gone to term, put up for adoption. You may be wondering, what are the effects of child sexual abuse? Bearing in mind that I said it's a topic that is awful, and one would not want to be openly engaging in such topic. But because it's so prevalent, and a number of people don't know that it is, but it is prevalent today, and you're finding that these sexual predators are on the loose, and some of them are walking amongst us. They're living in our community that we're living. They're socializing in the same community in which we travel, the places where we dwell, the places that we work, the places that we worship, the places that our children attend school, college, or universities. These people are people who we see on a regular basis. They might be on the train, on the coaches as we travel to and from work. Our children, the whole world, are at risk of these people. You may want to ask this question also. So what could happen to these people? If you are living in an environment or in a neighborhood and you are suspected of such person who are carrying out these atrocious acts, it is very important that you go to the nearest police station and make a report of your suspicions. And be very, very careful in doing so, because you have to have evidence. But sometimes you don't have the raw evidence. You may see a little bit of dodgy thing going on that will raise your concern of a child who you might think or believe to be in danger. So it's important that you go and make known to the various authorities, the schools, and the police, the teachers, or doctors, or the family. And let me say this also, that sometimes a child may come to his or her parent and make a complaint that this person, be it man or woman, is disturbing them or making them feel uncomfortable. And sometimes parents does not believe or do not believe their child or children. If that is the case, if any child or children is listening to me today, it's important that you find somebody else with whom you can trust to talk to and discuss your concerns or your worry. If you feel that you are becoming or in a position to become a victim of child sexual abuse. The effects, therefore, on a child who are being sexual abused can include the following. As the child grow into adult, they will experience these things. Trust issues, the inability to trust others, thinking that they are capable of doing the same thing to them or would allow it to happen to themselves. That individual or individuals may feel ashamed, feel that they are not worthy of being loved or being in a relationship. That person may start putting the blame on themselves, thinking or believing that they deserve that cruel act that's being done to them or towards them. That person may go out there and because this crime has been committed onto them or to them, they might think it's the norm and might go after people who are sexual predators. They might be drawn to such person or persons. It is likely, not really the case, but it is likely. A child who have experienced sexual abuse can also experience psychological effect, where they can become suicidal, thinking that, you know what, I am not deserving to be here, so I might find the ways or means to get rid of myself or do something terrible to myself to get myself vanished away. They might become anxious, so they will suffer with anxiety. And there's people who have been victims of abuse, these child or children who have experienced sexual abuse are likely to be affected again when they become adult. As I said before, if you know of any person or have any suspect of such person to be or persons to be sexual predators, it's important that you speak or report it to the police or your nearby police. There is help for that person who is carrying out this behavior. They can seek social counseling, help, or help with substance abuse. As I said before, sometimes you have to look at the background of these people who are carrying out these behavior. They themselves might have been through or experienced abuse themselves. So if you are that person who is carrying out this behavior, you need to seek help and advice for yourself. You need to go and report yourself so that help can be given to you. It's not easy for a child who have experienced abuse of such sort to be calm. This kind of abuse follow you throughout your childhood, and one may see a child who grown on into adult have certain behaviors and wonder why they are behaving in such manner, and they don't know the reasons for this. If a person or a child have experienced sexual abuse as a young child, it is likely that they will suffer throughout their adult life. Find it very hard to hold a relationship. Find it very hard or difficult to communicate with their loved ones, especially when they are forming or involved in a relationship with their partner, husband, or wives. And you may say, you might be sitting thinking it's easier said than done and it can happen. No, it's not that easy. Because it's not like putting on the makeup on your face and wiping it off. This is an emotional scar, something that you will have to probably live with for the rest of your life. So if you were a victim of child sexual abuse, seek help. Speak to your doctor, who can probably refer you to get help where help is needed, so you can prevent yourself from harming or bringing harm onto yourself or causing yourself to do something that will disrupt your family, friends, and the neighborhood or community in which you live. If you know of someone who are sexual predators, please report that person to the police as soon as possible, so that they would not reoffend or continue their pattern of behavior to an innocent child or children. Please subscribe, share this video, leave your comment. It will be very greatly appreciated. Thank you.